Check in with you every hour, all right?
All right.
Be careful.
Bye.
You should be with them.
I can't leave work, Ray.
Well, you can't stay here either.
Welcome home, Benton. I hope you like lasagna. So, how was your day?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Well, why don't you come over here and wash up? Right ahead. You know, it's gonna take me a while to get it just how you like it.
It's delicious.
You haven't tried it yet. Really? You know, because I just think it's very important that we be honest with each other right from the start.
It's perfect.
Oh, good. You know, you're always honest. I know that, but you're always polite too, so sometimes I can't know if you're being honest or, you know, you're being polite. If I babble too much, you have to tell me.
No. No, I mean, yes. Yes, I will. But no. Keep talking.
Okay. So, what are we gonna talk about tonight?
Anything you'd like.
When I'm with my friends, my girlfriends, we talk about, you know, skincare products and things like that, but,
That sounds interesting.
no. I read enough magazines to know that, you know, with each guy, you talk about what he's interested in.
I see.
So, how about that Iditarod, huh?
Which Iditarod?
Come on, Franny, pick up. Fraser, why don't you have a phone?
This is so nice. So different from home. I mean, we're halfway through dinner and you haven't even yelled once yet.
Well, no.
I could really get used to this politeness stuff. You know, sometimes I think it would actually be better if married people treated each other like strangers.
Well, that may be. But it doesn't follow, therefore, that strangers would be better off if they treated each other as if they were married.
I love it when you're logical.
You're pretty much gonna like anything I say, aren't you?
Anything. You know, Frage, since skincare products are an area that I'm familiar with, I did manage to get rid of that harsh, melty issue soap you were using.
I didn't realize it was harsh.
Oh, yeah. In our climate, that really dries out your skin.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you have to end up buying like 2 different kinds of moisturizers to compensate for the dryness and the pollution in the air. And then
I smell
you
something burning.
Oh my God, the Perzulin.
No, it's not that. Downstairs.
The elevator's stuck! We'll have you out in a second.
I called it in.
Hey.
You're leaving town. Excuse me, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Okay, we found these and this, a sophisticated incendiary device.
Good deal. It was a fire. Let arson handle it. What'd you find?
Everything you asked for.
And?
Well, when you read these old Carver files, it really seems that the prosecution's case was pretty thin. There was no record of any previous criminal activity. It was a very tenuous motive.
And yet the jury found him guilty.
Well, it all came down to that missing heel from Carver's shoe that Ray found at the scene. I mean, that and the intensity of Ray's testimony.
Now, Ray found the heel after the arson investigators had been over the scene?
Yes, but we were able to explain that because the investigators had been called away. I mean, they hadn't really completed their investigation. So it was possible that they could have missed it.
You don't sound entirely convinced.
He's your friend.
Yes.
You work with him?
Yes.
Oh, did you ever see him knock down a door without a warrant? Rough up a suspect a little too much?
Are you suggesting he stepped over the line?
I don't know, Benton. I just remember that he was so worked up over this case. At the time, it just seemed like a situation of someone going the extra mile. You know, real crackerjack police work.
Hey, Angie.
Hi, Elaine.
Are you here to see Ray?
No.
Is this place all right? I wasn't sure when you said you wanted to talk.
No, it seems perfectly fine.
Good. You know, we could have a drink. Doesn't have to be just business.
No. Yes. I mean, well, actually, the fact of the matter is I do have some questions I'd like to ask you.
About Ray.
Yes, about Ray. You were Ray's partner when you left the force, weren't you?
I was sick of police work. The lousy hours, bad food, the scuzzy people that you meet.
Such as Charles Carver.
Yeah, he was one of the scuzziest.
And you left shortly after the Carver case, didn't you? Now, was that because of Carver, or was it because of Ray?
Ray was pretty intense back then. That put a lot of people off, but I liked him. He really cared.
I mean, you cared as well, obviously. You were partners. You went back to the crime scene and found the heel that matched Carver's shoe.
Actually, I didn't. We had put in an 18-hour day. We were off the clock, and Kelly sent me home to crash. Ray went back to have one last look around.
So Ray was all alone when he found the heel?
Carver didn't just study chemistry and stir. Condition of parole, we have access to his living quarters. The guys found that.
Clippings of the cases you worked on. Page from your high school yearbook. Most likely to wind up behind bars.
Oh, that's not you. That's Vincenzo.
Yeah, he's got a book on me, but that still doesn't explain why he's always one step ahead of us. He seems to know just what we're thinking and where we're going.
And yet we haven't revealed anything to him.
The night he took my car. Vecchio.
I would have thought you would have figured out there was a bug in your car before this.
Carver.
Don't get off your game, detective. You'll make this too easy. And that won't be any fun at all.
Ask him how the heel on his shoe came loose.
The heel on my shoe wasn't loose.
He says it wasn't loose. He heard the question.
There's another bug.
Lieutenant Kelly? Detective Huey. Eileen Vespers?
Hi, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Go on inside.
It has to have been close enough to the passenger compartment so he could have heard us.
Without being drowned out by the engine noise.
This is another toy?
No, not just a toy. It's a 1971 Buick Riviera. It's my car.
Well, it's not your car, Ray. Your car's green.
Yeah, well, maybe he couldn't find a green one. It's still obvious. He's saying I'm going to have an accident.
Well, possibly, but look at the way this has been crushed, flattened almost, as though someone had stepped on it.
Right.
Well, very few accidents cause this, where a vehicle is flattened from the top. There are a lot of accidents you could cause, but to cause this would be extremely difficult.
So what are you saying? He's not threatening an accident?
I don't know.
You know, Benny, puzzles and riddles, I was never good at any of this stuff.
What are you saying, Ray? You solve puzzles all the time.
Yeah, well, not like this. This is like those problems in school, you know, those logic problems where a train leaves Dayton at 2 p.m. traveling 60 miles an hour, and another train leaves Akron at 1 p.m. traveling at 40 miles an hour. At what time do they intersect? The only answer I ever could come up was, I don't care.
It's a fine answer. And you're doing fine, Ray.
No, I'm not doing fine. You know, he's wreaking havoc, he's blowing up bombs, he's lighting fires, and I'm not even this close to stopping him.
Ray, no one has been hurt.
Not yet. You know, it's like I'm playing this weird game and I don't even know the rules.
You're figuring them out.
Yeah. But he's got me completely figured out. I'm not up to this, Benny.
Vecchio, I need to see you. Alone. You know Frank Greco from the state's attorney's office?
How do you do?
And of course you know our friends from Internal Affairs. Frank investigates officer malfeasance.
I don't believe this.
Ray, this isn't easy for me.
This isn't about now, Detective. This is about 8 years ago. The original Charles Carver bust.
What about it?
It's looking bad, Vecchio. The shoe with the missing heel hadn't been worn without the heel, as it would have been if someone were running from the scene of a crime. So the heel was removed from the shoe when it was indoors. The evidence was planted.
You're just discovering this now?
We've been asking some questions that should have been asked then but weren't, in the rush to judgment. And we've been talking to some people that should have been talked to then but weren't.
Like who?
Other investigators, attorneys.
My ex-wife. Look, don't you guys see what's happening here? He's doing this. He's got you focusing on the old case so that you're distracted and you're slowed down. We gotta move on this thing now.
This time, Detective, we're not gonna be rushed into making a mistake.
You see, Constable, when you're angling for the big one, you need determination and you need patience. Ray had determination.
What about patience?
Patience wasn't his long suit. Look, you've got to understand, Carver was dirty.
Dirty enough so a policeman would want to plant evidence? The arson investigators had combed that scene.
They didn't look under every charred timber.
So the heel was hidden?
It wasn't that well hidden. Ray found it. And we sent away a very bad guy. More than that, nobody needs to know.
Detective Vecchio, you were still with your ex-wife at the time of Carver's arrest, huh?
Yeah.
She said she saw the heel, what turned out to be the heel of Carver's shoe, at your home.
She might have.
You had it at your home?
Look, I had it on my possession from the time I left that crime scene until I booked it in at the station.
And you stopped there right about lunchtime, right?
Yeah.
Something that you were in the habit of doing.
No.
Would you say you've done it often, occasionally, rarely?
I've never done it before. Look, me and my wife, we were having some problems, okay? Our marriage wasn't going too well. We had a fight that morning, and I just stopped home around lunchtime to smooth things over.
So is it fair to say, Detective Vecchio, that you were emotionally upset at the time?
Hey.
Hey.
Listen, is it gonna be okay?
Well, at this point, we don't know.
I'm sorry, Ray. They were asking me questions. I had to tell them.
You did right.
Listen, I told them that I thought you were more committed to catching bad guys than anyone I knew on the force.
You told them that?
Yeah, I did. Shouldn't I have?
Well, it's not that. They think that maybe I was too committed. They think I planted evidence.
Yeah, the heel of the shoe.
Yeah.
Listen, Ray, God, every cop in the district wanted that squirrel off the streets. I mean, he was creepy. He was doing weird things. But, you know, it seemed like, you know, if you could do something that could get him off the street, that wasn't going to hurt anyone, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
What are you saying, Ange? Did I plan it to heal?
Well, it's kind of weird, Ray. A guy that careful leaving a heel like that. And you're coming home, carrying it in your pocket.
Do you really think I would do something like that?
I think you wanted him off the streets. I think you were right.
Take it easy, Ange.
Great.
Dave?
Another one? I'll call the consulate.
He won't be there.
Then I'll go by his place.
He won't be there either.
You know where he is?
No. I'm supposed to figure it out.
Hang in there, Benny. I'll have you untied in a second.
Stuck.
Your assessment.
Sucks.
That's valid. Listen, Ray, I've come to the conclusion that the heel was planted.
Not you too.
Yes. I mean, the arson investigators had been all over that scene.
Yeah, but not thoroughly.
Still, they should have seen it, since it wasn't entirely hidden in the debris.
How do you know it wasn't entirely hidden?
I was told. All suspects are guilty of something.
Kelly.
That's right. He was the one who sent your partner Lori home early. He was also the one who told you to go back for one last look around.
I wanted Carver so bad, I didn't question. Could have nailed him clean.
There was no evidence, Ray.
There's always evidence. I was new, Benny. I hadn't made detective. But I can nail him now.
I found Helen Harris. The woman Carver lived with, the one who disappeared?
Yeah.
I see.
You didn't find Helen Harris.
I found Helen Harris living in Maryland. She's ready to tell the whole crummy story about how you treated her and those other women.
She's lying.
I don't think so.
Whoever you spoke to wasn't Helen Harris.
5'6", brown hair, walks with a limp, says you're a reptile.
This is a setup. It's Kelly again, or Welsh, or Fraser here.
Sorry, pal. You shouldn't have let this one get away.
I did not let her get away.
You should have killed her.
I did kill her.
You don't know how happy I am to hear you say that.
Okay, well, you've heard it, so what?
What if he wasn't the only one to hear it?
What if Lieutenant Welsh heard it?
And what if Assistant State's Attorneys Carnes and Greco heard it? It's very good, Ray.
You're not the only one who knows how to plant a bug, Charlie. You really didn't expect me to play this game by your rules, did you?
You knew Carver wanted to hear you panic?
Yeah.
So you knew the car was bugged?
Absolutely.
Very clever, Ray.
Oh, thank you, Benny.
I just have one question.
What's that?
Well, I have to meet the trade minister who's coming in by train from Waukegan tonight. Now, if the train is traveling at, say, an average of 100 kilometers an hour...
62 miles per hour.
0.14. And if I'm traveling at 100 kilometers an hour, where would the most logical place for us to intersect be?
Who cares?
It's a fine answer.
Northern sky will carry you away. You know you have to leave here. You wish that you could stay. There's 4 directions on this map, but you're only going one way. Due south, that's the way